And members, you've heard an explanation. First up is Representative Pearson. You're recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairman. I urge my colleagues not to support this resolution. Look, we have had in just the last month or so here Nazis actually marching here in Nashville from our state capital. The UN was created after the Holocaust, after World War II, where many people, including strong American soldiers, were killed fighting in order to preserve sort of peace and world order. The United Nations was formed after World War II. It remains, and its goal is even one place where the world's nations can gather together, discuss common problems, and find shared solutions. Our statements need to be finding ways to encourage this, not to be against it. I don't understand why we would say goals such as ensuring we do something about climate change, some of these other goals, ensuring we have clean water and sanitation, no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable communities, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Like, these are the things that we should be seeking to create for ourselves and in our own country, in our own state, especially in the world. And withdrawing from the United Nations, or even recommending that we would withdraw from the United Nations, would only sow discord, would only ensure that we are not at the table when the conversations are being had about world peace. And just recently, if I'm not mistaken, Chairman, the United States did not veto a resolution as it related to the war in Gaza due to the humanitarian crisis that is happening there. And so while I understand the political slant of what you're saying, the consequences of the United States not being a part of the conversation when it comes to world peace and helping to sustain some sense of world order is quite dangerous. And NATO, while I agree it's very important, it is not inclusive of all countries. It's the North Atlantic. And so that would literally exclude hundreds of countries that are part of the United Nations. And we, as the most powerful country in the world, have a responsibility and obligation and opportunity to be a part of those conversations and to advocate for world peace, and do that in all the ways that we can, including with our resources. And so, and I would just say this last point, because we talk about wealth and industries in this country a lot, and you talk about money, and there are trillion-dollar institutions, including Apple, that gets a lot of its resources from the continent of Africa and the mining that happens there. And so our interconnectedness with other countries is not something that's about to go away, right? And withdrawing from the world stage is not a solution or a resolution that we should support in our state or ever. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, you're very welcome. And we have others. Chairman Powers, shall we move on?
Just one comment.
Okay, you're recognized.
On that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just say that there are certain things that the UN does that, that we just really don't understand. That, like in 2019, Venezuela, under the control of Maduro, authoritarian socialist government was added to the organization's Human Rights Council. That's the things that we go against. The 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council are China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, United States. And so a lot of times they are vetoing anything that we do because they have one vote to veto. In 2011, the UN General Assembly held a 1-minute silence for the death of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il, despite his record of atrocities of killing his own people. These are so many things that the United States disagrees with with the United Nations, and on that stage, we are a member of NATO. We are a member of the American Organization of States, so we're not withdrawing from that, but we think that the UN could be better served if they want to be in another country. But what they've done right now, they've become a bunch of countries that are trying to extract money in a wealth distribution way from the United States. And they do that through, you were talking about climate change. In 2005, Al Gore said in 10 years, our planet will be a frying pan. Well, here we are in 2024. We're not a frying pan, are we? And so with that, I just think that the whole climate change agenda and so many other things that are trying to go on now with the United Nations are trying to extract money. It's a wealth distribution project for the United Nations, and we don't want to be a part of it.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you, Chairman. I think it's absolutely unbelievable that we are pretending that climate change is not real. I've had the good fortune of getting to know Vice President Al Gore, and we've had the hottest summer and will have the hottest summer on record. The reality is we are experiencing climate change in ways that are really harmful across this state and across this country and across the world. And the people who have done the least to create climate change are the ones who are suffering the most. The reality is we are having and are experiencing the hottest years on record. That is what is happening. It is true, and you're
Please,
putting your head in the sand because you're not talking about reality. We're talking about the United Nations and its focus on climate change and the environmental solutions that ensure that we will have a survivable climate. The United Nations is a leading entity as it relates to making sure this conversation doesn't go away. So we are on the bill, to my colleagues who don't think that we are. And if you look at the 17 goals of the United Nations, this is clarified there. You are absolutely wrong. History is proving you wrong. And I think that we have a responsibility as the most powerful country in the world to do all that we can as it relates not only to climate change, but ensuring world order and peace.
All right, let's move along.